Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Oregon, hello. It's been a while since we got to talk, but we are going to circle back on what at the time was one of the most unconstitutional pieces of gun control legislation we've ever seen. Along came the state of Illinois shortly thereafter and totally outdid it. But we are talking about Oregon Ballot Measure 114. This was both a magazine ban, which is offensive enough, but also a requirement that a person must get government's permission before they can exercise a right, and must do so by first going through mandatory training. Well, we know a judge down in the southern part of Oregon, Judge Ratio, was not too thrilled with it and had enjoined the law. The law has never been enacted against the citizens of Oregon, and now the Oregon State Court of Appeals has heard arguments on it. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about, is it about to get really bad for Oregon? Okay, so who is today's video sponsor?
Taylor Freelance.
No, seriously, who's today's video sponsor?
Taylor Freelance.
Taylor Freelance. Okay, you realize what Google is going to do to this video if we have Taylor Freelance advertised on this channel. Okay, well, here goes nothing. All right, hey, listen, before we get going too far down the road we're going down, proud to announce that this video is brought to you by Taylor Freelance. That's right, American owned, American made, right there in Bellingham, Washington. They are making some of the best components for your, you know what, out there. Now listen, this is normally where I'd put all the cool B-roll up and show you all the cool things that they're making up there at Taylor Freelance. But if I do that, well, YouTube and Google is gonna get a little ticked off at us. But listen, if you just wanna know what Taylor Freelance is in a nutshell, it's really this simple. They do not make your firearm, got that, Google? They do not make firearms, but they will make your firearm a lot better. If you're ready to take your firearm to the next level, if you're ready to customize your firearm so that you are more proficient in it, visit all of our good friends at Taylor Freelance. What?
Don't mention their website.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, hey, listen, for more information, go ahead and click on my partner page right there. And there you'll find the link to Taylor Freelance so you can check out all the cool things that they're doing. For more information, visit my partner page. Okay, Oregon, here's what we're talking about. We've talked about it before. We're going to talk about it again. We are talking about Ballot Measure 114, a piece of legislation that was actually passed by the voters of Oregon by the narrowest of margins. If enacted into law, it would ban all magazines that hold more than 10 rounds. And then, and perhaps even a bigger deal, mandatory pre-purchase licensing with mandatory state training and testing involved before you can exercise a right. It's literally having to get a permission slip before you exercise a constitutional right. Judge Ratio down there in Harney County was none bit too thrilled with it. He enjoined the law. The law remained enjoined. He then heard argument on the merits, and he ruled that the law was in fact unconstitutional because it violated the Oregon state constitution. Okay, so this is an argument that has been raised and argued almost exclusively under the Oregon state constitution. Of course, the state of Oregon completely crapped their pants. They appealed it. Unlike here in Washington, where they might have been able to do the end around from the Court of Appeals and go straight to the Supreme Court, Oregon has a much more systematic approach to things, and so it went to the Oregon State Court of Appeals. It has now been heard by a 3-judge panel who have taken the issue under advisement and will issue a ruling later. Oregon, this is a big, big deal for you, because if in fact the court were to reverse the trial court's decision and find that this law is constitutional, then it's just a matter of time before how quickly can the state of Oregon implement the law. Now, a magazine ban is pretty easy to implement. A pre-purchasing licensing requirement and all the infrastructure necessary to do that may take months, may take years. God only knows what might happen down there in the state of Oregon. Obviously, regardless of the ruling, whether the Judge Ratio's decision is overturned and the law is allowed to go into effect, or the ruling from the lower court is upheld and the law remains enjoined, rest assured the losing party will be appealing it to the Oregon State Supreme Court. Now, understand there was a similar challenge that was filed in the United States District Court in Portland before Judge Ermagert, who actually found no problem with the law whatsoever. That was done under a Second Amendment analysis. I know you sit there and go, well, how could they reach that conclusion? And yeah, exactly. Now you understand the problem that is our court system. And hey, maybe why you ought to check out this video right here, which will explain it further. But Oregon, listen, what I want you to understand when it comes to this pre-purchasing licensing requirement is that what your state wants you to do is they want you to go through a background check for the privilege of getting to go through a background check. That's essentially what's happening here. Or put another way, is the state of Oregon wants to treat every citizen as though they are absolutely positively not entitled to have access to firearms unless they prove themselves otherwise, essentially guilty until proven innocent. Think about any other constitutional right. You want to go to church this Sunday, but you got to get a permission slip from the government. You work for the media, but you actually want to publish a story, you got to get a permission slip from the government. You want to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures? Great, you just need government's permission for it. And the list goes on with all of the absolutely absurd consequences were we to attach this to any other inalienable right. But for some reason, our Second Amendment rights, yeah, they're the redheaded stepchild of the Bill of Rights. Okay, so the case you're going to be carefully watching is the case of Arnold v. Kotek. It comes out of Harney County. It's now before the Oregon State Court of Appeals. Do not get that confused with Oregon Firearms Federation v. Kotek. That is the case that went to the United States District Court in Portland. Their ballot measure 114 was upheld, but it has absolutely no effect on Oregon right now because you are still, right now, living under that injunction. Listen, we'll go ahead and link up everything down below so that you guys can geek out on it for yourself. If you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington Gun Law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information is down there in the description box. If you got an idea for video we should be doing around here, great, let us know. Click on that link right there and tell us all about it. It's probably going to be better than any idea we come up with. If all you want to do is subscribe to our newsletter, the ability to do all of that is right down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.